Good afternoon. Today's topic is shortest path problems. Many problems can be modeled using graphs with weights assigned to their edges. So whenever we have a graph A, B, C and D, then in this case, suppose if I am assigning a weight, or maybe I am giving an imaginary distance between these two vertices, such as between A and B the distance is 2, and between B and D the distance is 4, and in between C and D the distance is 1, and A and C have the distance 3. Now in this case, what if I want to travel from A to D? What is the shortest path or shortest distance when we want to travel from A to D? So we know that there is no direct edge between A and D. There is no edge connecting A and D. So one path might be going from A to B and then B to D, or another path is from A to C and C to D. So from A to B the distance is 2, and from B to D the distance is 4. So 2 plus 4 the distance is 6. Now these distances that I am writing are not in kilometers, meters or any unit. Those are just random numbers given to the edge. So 2 plus 4 is 6, so the distance is 6. While from A to C the distance is 3 and C to D the distance is 1. So 3 plus 1 which is 4. So just by observing we can see that from A to C and C to D the distance is smaller and we can take this path. So this is the concept of shortest path problem. So in between two distinct pair of vertices we have to find the shortest path. So this problem has a lot of applications. It is a very famous algorithm that we use. So before that, let me tell you one of the application of the shortest path problems. Many problems can be modeled using graphs with weights assigned to their edges. So the distances that I have mentioned are also known by the term weights. So those distance or the numbers I have given on the edges are known as weights. Very important and to be remembered. Weights are assigned to the edge. So consider, suppose if we have this example, this is an airline system of the American cities. Okay, so this is San Francisco, Los Angeles, Denver, Chicago, Boston, New York, etc. This is a textbook example. Now for these cities, the edges are the airlines which are available. So suppose there is an airline from San Francisco to New York or Chicago. So those are shown by the help of the edges. Now we are setting up this basic graph model by representing cities by vertices and slides by the edges. Problems involving distances can be modeled by assigning distance between cities to the edges. And problems involving flight time can be modeled by assigning flight time to the edges. So we can have various types of problems, like the actual distance between the cities can be shown by writing the distance. Or suppose if I want to write the flight time, how much time does it take to travel between the cities? That can be modeled by writing the flight times on the vertices, or even the fares. What is the fare between two different cities? We can even have that kind of problem. So so graphs that have a number assigned to each edge are called as weighted graphs. So this is another type of graphs that we have. So we have seen directed, undirected graphs. So we have weighted graphs and unweighted graphs, or the graphs which don't have weights on them. Now what did I say about weights? Weights are the numbers that are given on the edge. Now, so weighted graphs are used to model usually computer networks, communication cost such as the cost of the network, or the response time that is being taken over the computer lines, or the distance between the computers, are all studied using the concept of this weighted graph. Okay, so this is a very important concept. Now we are taking the example. This figure displays the graph in the way of mileage. What is the miles, number of miles between, or the distance between San Francisco and New York, and Chicago and New York, etc. That is basically the distance between all the different cities. So to be more specific, sometimes the problems involving weighted graphs are, if we have to find the shortest path between the two cities, or we may have to cover all the cities in such a way that it should take the least amount of time. So basically, these kind of problems are solved using this weighted graph. And also, if I want to ask, what is the shortest path, that is the path of least length between two given vertices? So that is very simple actually. Just look at the least distance between the two vertices. Then it is between Boston and New York, which is 191. Now, apart from that, what is the longest path, or what combination of flights can we take from San Francisco to New York? So these are based on the distance or the miles. Apart from that, we have the fare. What is the least fare that we can take to travel from Chicago to Miami or Atlanta? This way, this is with respect to fare. So suppose we are looking for the cheapest fare, or we may also look for the least amount of time. The flight times have been given. So in this way, we can model various problems based on the weighted graph. Weighted graph is basically when you are giving some kind of value to the edge. You are assigning a number to each edge. So basically, what is a weighted graph? A weighted graph is a graph in which each edge u comma v has a weight w for the edge u comma v, and each weight is a real number. Now, what do the weights represent? They may represent distance, cost, time, capacity, etc. The length of a path in a weighted graph is the sum of weights on the edges. Now, with respect to that, if we want to find the shortest path between two vertices, then we have a Dijkstra's algorithm, for the shortest path algorithm. So, Dijkstra's algorithm is basically the shortest path algorithm. There are actually various different algorithms, but in our syllabus we have Dijkstra's algorithm, so it is also known by the name of a shortest path algorithm. So it is used to find the shortest path. So this algorithm is used to find the shortest path between two vertices in a weighted graph. So this was actually discovered by the same name, by the name of the mathematician with the same name, Dijkstra. And before actually going into the problem, I would like to explain it with the help of an example. The example given here is as follows. So from A to D, the weight is 2, while A to B, the weight is 4. This both are 3. Even this is 3 and 2 and 1. Now for this example, what is the length of the shortest path between A and Z in a weighted graph? So I have to find the length of the shortest path from A and Z in the weighted graph. So for the weighted shortest path, you have to start from the vertex A, and we can easily find it by just looking at the graph. So from A to Z, we can either select A to B, or we can go from A to D. If we are going from A to B, then the distance is 4, so the weight is 4, while from A to D, the distance is 2. Now in this case, if I am going from A to D, this is the shortest distance, so I have to then select D to E and E to Z. So D to E gives me the weight 3 and E to Z give me the weight 1. So the total distance will be 2 plus 3 plus 1, which will be 6. So from A to Z, if I am going through the vertices D, E, then the path distance is 6. While if I am going from A to B, then B to C and then Z, 4 plus 3 plus 2 will give me 9. Or even if I am going from A to B, B to E and then Z, it will give me 4 plus 3 plus 1 is 8. So basically, whenever we are choosing the path, we have to look for the shortest path. So there is a path of length 7 and a path of length 6. So the shortest path is for the length 6. Okay. After that, the next thing is, whenever with the help of this example, it is illustrating the basic principle of the algorithm from A to Z. Now we will consider the general problem of finding the length of the shortest path between A to Z in an undirected, connected, simple weighted graph. So I am talking here about undirected, that is there are no directions. Then it is a connected graph, that is all the edges are connected in such a way that we can traverse from one edge to another. And also it is a simple graph, that is no loops and pseudo loop, no loops and multiple edges, that is it is not a multi graph or a pseudo graph. And also the last thing, it is weighted, that is weights have been given on all the edges. Now what Dijkstra's algorithm does is, it proceeds by finding the length of a shortest path from A to a first vertex, then the length of a shortest path from A to the second vertex, and so on until the length of a shortest path from A to Z is found. So what we do is from A to the second first from the vertex A to B and D, then from A to vertex E. This way we go on finding the paths. So the algorithm is basically iterative, or it uses a series of iterations. So this is iteration, it uses iterations. And what we do is, when we are constructing the shortest path, we make sure that the algorithm is constructed in such a way that we traverse through all the edges and try to find all the paths and then take the shortest path. So for a weighted graph, G is equal to V, E, W, the single source shortest path problem is to find the shortest path from a vertex V, which belongs to the vertex capital V, to all the other vertices in V. The algorithm maintains a set of nodes for which the shortest paths are known. It grows this set based on the node closest to the source using one of the nodes in the current shortest path set. Okay. After that, what is the input and output? So Dijkstra's algorithm is a solution to the single source shortest path problem in graph theory. Works on both directed and undirected graphs. However, all the edges must have non-negative weights. That is, we cannot have -6, -2 on the edges. It should be positive weights or 0. And the approach that we use is greedy algorithm. Input is the graph G is equal to V, E actually. And another we have to need is a source vertex, that is from where should we start, and what is here, terminal vertex, and also all the edge weights should be non-negative. Output is basically a length of the shortest path from a given source vertex to all the other vertices. So it is also known as single source shortest path. So this is known as single source shortest path. After that, now let's see the example for the Dijkstra's algorithm. So we have 5 vertices over here, and I have to find the shortest path from A to all the other vertices. So from A, first and foremost, I write all the distances as infinity, and the distance from A to itself is 0. After that, from A, if I want what are the 2 vertices that I can access, I can go to either B or C. From A to B, the distance is 10, so I'll write over here 10, and from A to C, the distance is 3. So in the second step, I will be writing 10 and 3 and the other distances, because there are no direct edges from A to D and A to E, so it will be infinity. After that, I have to take the next minimum weight. So from A to C, I have got a minimum weight as 3. That is, the edge weight is 3. So I'll be adding the node C to our set, and then what I will do is, I will try to find the path from A and C. That is, I will have to take the vertices or the root A and C. I will have to go from A to C. Then I will look for how I can decrease my distance from A to all the other vertices. So from A to B, directly if I go, it is 10. But if I travel from A to C and then again from C to B, then it will be 3, and then C to B is 4. So 3 plus 4 will be 7. So you can see that from C I can travel to B, D and E. From A to C, C to B is 7. So I won't be taking this 10. Instead, I will be taking 7. And after that, we see that from C to E, 3 plus 2 is 5. So we have written 5. And from C to D, 3 plus 8 is 11. So we have updated this distance to 11. Next will be calculating the next least distance. So we have taken the vertex, selected the vertex E, which has the distance phi. From E, we can travel to the vertex D, and also we can travel. Can we travel to B? No, it is not possible to travel to the vertex B. So let's update the distance. So from 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 9 will be 14. But 11 is the lesser one, so we don't need to update. So we will continue with 7 and 11. Next will be the vertex B. So finally for the vertex B, we have selected it because there is no least there is no other way to have a lesser distance at B. Finally, for the final vertex D, if I travel from A to C, C to E, or A to C and C to B, okay, from A to C and then C to B, so 3 plus 4 plus 2 will give us 9. So we can change this 11 which we had earlier to 9. This way, we see that from A, the minimum distance to A is 0, while the minimum distance to B, the shortest distance to B is 7 instead of the direct route that we had was 10. From A to C is 3. From A to D, we can have it to 9. So we are not selecting this vertex, we will be selecting this one. A to C, C to B and B to D. So 3 plus 4 plus 2, which is 9. And then finally for E, we will be selecting A to C and C to E. This way we have got the shortest paths from the single source A. So this is the reason it is known as single source shortest path. Next, we will see we'll look at another example, which is a textbook example. Use Dijkstra's algorithm to find the length of a shortest path between the vertices A and Z in the weighted graph displayed in the figure. So from A, we have to travel to Z, A to Z. Now for this, initially from A to A, it will be 0, and to all the rest of the vertices, the distance will be infinity. Now from A, what are the next two vertices that one can travel to? They are either B or C. The distance between distance from A to B is 4. So this is the way you're supposed to write it. Write the distance in the diagram, and you're supposed to write the vertex from which you are traveling. So 4 is the distance, A is the vertex from which you are traveling. Similarly, 2 is the distance and A is the vertex you are traveling. Then the next thing will be the second. So this is your second step. Initially, this is the actual diagram was the first step. This is the second step. In the third step, you have to select a vertex which has the minimum, which is minimum among these two. So among B and C, we have C is the minimum one. So we will select this one, and we have to check whether from C can we reach how many other vertices we can reach and what are their distances. So from A to C, the distance is 2, and then from C to B, I can have this one. So 2 plus 1 will be 3, which is less than the 4 that we had earlier. So I can strike it off, right? 3 is the distance, and I am traveling the vertices A, C. Next is I can reach from C, I can go to D. So 2 plus 8 will give me 10, which is less than infinity. So 10, and what vertices I am traveling? A and C. The next is from C, I can even reach E. So this infinity will be cancelled. And 12 is the total distance, 2 plus 10. And I am traveling the vertices A and C. From C, I cannot go directly to Z. So I am keeping it as it is. Now, among all these three, select the one which is minimum again. So 3, A, C. This this route is the minimum. So we'll take the next, this one B. So I am going to be from A to C, C to B. Now from B, which other vertices can I travel? So in here you have to write your set S. Okay. So in the set S, you have to write which vertices you have already traversed and got the minimum path. So you have got to A, from A, C. Okay. Now C, also B is being taken. Okay. So earlier it will be simply A. Next it will be A comma C. In the third step, it will be A comma C comma B. After that, in the fourth step, we will have A to C, C to B. Now from B, to which other vertices can we travel? We can travel to D. A and C are already in our set, so we don't have to travel to that. We can travel to D. So to D, what will be the distance? So 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 5 will be 8. It is less than the one which we have here. So instead of this 10, I can have A, C, B. Okay. So now, any other vertex that we can travel to from B? No, it is not possible. So I will write A, C. Okay, I have written A, C, B already. After that, the next will be, we have to select. So we have taken this 3 also, written B. Now among this 8 and 12, I will be taking this 8. So for this 8, I will add it in our set A, C, B, D. Now from D, to which other vertices I can travel? I can travel to Z and I can travel to E, the vertex E and Z. So for Z, what will be the distance? So 8, it is already from A, C, B. Now here 8 plus 6 will be 14. So it is infinity can be cancelled. And I am coming from A, C, B, D. Also, this 12, instead of 12, if I add 8 plus 2, 10, so which is lesser than 12, so A, C, B, D. Okay. So now I have added D also to our set. Now among 10 and 14, which one is the smaller one? 10. So I'll be adding E to our set A, C, B, D, E. The set is basically all the vertices you have traversed and got the shortest path. It is similar to the table you were creating earlier, and also you have to create this table. I'm just directly explaining the problem, but this way you have to create a table also. Now here you have 10. Now you have taken E. From E, if you go to Z, A, C, then B, then D, then E, and then Z. So if you add 10 plus 3, it will be 13, which is less than the 14 that we have originally got when we traversed from D. So this can be changed to 13, A, C, B, D, and E. Okay. So from A to Z, this is the shortest path that we can take to reach the destination or the terminal vertex Z. So basically, if I want to show you the entire figure, then we will refer the textbook directly. So this is the diagram and the problem that I was solving. So if you look over here, we have the vertex A and I'm reaching Z. First, all of them are placed to infinity. From A, the source vertex, I can travel to B and C. So I'm updated here with these values 4 and 2. Then from these two, I have to select the minimum or the shortest weight. So this is the one that I have selected and I have updated B accordingly. Then from C, the other vertices that I can travel to is D and D. The same have been written. And this way you have to create a series of diagrams in each step and keep updating the weights at each vertex and accordingly give the route that you are traversing through. So if you look in the last diagram, from A, the shortest path to C is 2 and the shortest path to B is from A to C and then reaching B. Similarly to D is from A, C, B and then E, A, C, B, D, the length is 10 and finally to Z it will be 13. We are traversing in this way, A to C, C to B, B to D and then D to E, E to Z. This is the way we are traversing through the edges to have the shortest path from the source vertex A to the destination Z. So this is the conclusion of your Dijkstra's algorithm as a problem. Also, you have to create the table that I have shown you in the earlier example and the set that you are supposed to form. This is very important for essay LAQ. Now we will look at the algorithm, Dijkstra's algorithm. So the procedure is, we have to give the inputs as weighted connected simple graph with all weights positive, and the graph will have vertices as V0, V1 and Vn, where your A is the initial vertex, Z is the terminal vertex, and length is or the weights are given as W, Vi, Vj. Initially, all the weights have to be initialized to infinity, and for I is equal to 1 to n, that is from the vertex 1, we have to initialize all of them to 0. Now at the beginning, we have to begin with the V0 vertex, and initially your set S will have empty, it will be an empty set. Now the labels are now initialized so that the label of A is 0 and all the other labels are infinity, as we have seen in the diagram earlier. So let me just, yeah. So at the initial point, our initial vertex has 0 and all the other vertices will have infinity. While Z does not belongs to S, if we don't have the vertex in our set S, we have to continue this loop. A vertex not in S with length of U being minimal. If the distance between the weight is minimal, then we have to add it to the set S, and we have to check to which other vertices can we traverse through using that vertex and update all the way. So what it does is, this adds a vertex to S with minimal label and updates the label of vertices not in S. At the end, when we keep repeating this until all the vertices are added in S, it returns us the length of the shortest path from A to Z. We now discuss an important problem involving weighted graphs. Suppose consider the following problem. A salesman wants to visit, he is a salesman, so he wants to visit each of n cities, so he has n cities to be visited exactly once. So n cities are to be visited, so there are 1, 2 and n cities, and each of the city is to be visited exactly once and then return back to the starting point. So he will visit, suppose if we have 5 cities, he will visit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then again come back to the starting point. Now in this case, for example, suppose that the salesman wants to visit the following cities given in the figure. So this is with respect to Detroit, Toledo, Saginaw, Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo. In which order should he visit these cities to travel the minimum total distance? So the weight given on the edges is the distance between the cities. So how should he travel to get the minimum total distance? So what can we do to solve this problem? To solve this problem, we can assume the salesman starts in, we can select any one of the city as his initial city. So we will select Detroit, and he has to return back to Detroit after going through all of the cities. Now, to solve, what we will do is examine from Detroit how many ways can he go or can he visit and then return back to Detroit. We are supposed to see that. So basically we are supposed to select a circuit. Okay, that is the initial vertex and the terminal vertex should be the same. Now totally when we calculate, we have from this point, we have to fill, so this Detroit is start and end is the same. In between we have to fill 4 different spaces with 4 different cities. How many ways can we fill it? 4 factorial ways. So there are totally 24 routes. But suppose here we don't have a direction. So when we travel in the reverse order, it will be the same. So we will have only 12 different paths. Okay. So from these 12 different paths, we have to calculate the distance of all these 12 paths. So it will be given as follows. So here from Detroit we are beginning and we are ending at Detroit, and this can be done in 12 different ways. So there are totally 12 paths. Now with respect to this problem, this is a famous problem known as the traveling salesman problem. The traveling salesman problem asks for the circuit of minimum total weight in a weighted complete undirected graph. Weighted complete undirected graph that visits each vertex exactly once. So each vertex, as you see, is being visited exactly once. So this problem is actually similar to Hamilton circuit. Do you remember Hamilton circuit? It is the circuit where we visit each vertex exactly once with minimum total weight in the complete graph, because each vertex is visited exactly once. So the most straightforward way to solve this problem is traveling salesman problem is to examine all the possible paths in the graph and select one of minimum total length. Now, how many circuits can we define? In this way, we can have n minus 1 factorial. N minus 1 factorial. As I said, we have 5 vertices, so it was 4 factorial, 24 roots by 2, because in the reverse order it will be the same. So we had 12. So the total paths, if we have n vertices, will be n minus 1 factorial by 2 circuits. So these are the number of paths we have to analyze to get our answer. So it will take a lot of time. So the traveling salesman problem is very important actually for both practical purposes and theoretical purposes. But a lot of effort has also been given to devising efficient algorithms. However, till now, no algorithm with the less time or less time to find out the solution for this problem has been found out. So always traveling salesman problem is if you remember the concept of time complexity, if a traveling salesman problem is basically a worst case time complexity is required to solve this problem, and there is a concept known as NP completeness which you will study later. But this problem, traveling salesman problem, is an example of NP completeness. And basically, when we are trying to solve this traveling salesman problem, we generally use the approximation algorithm. That is, the algorithm don't produce an exact solution, but they produce a approximate or close to a approximate solution, close to the correct solution. That is, they produce approximate solution but not the exact solution. So this is with respect to shortest path problem. In the shortest path problem, the Dijkstra's algorithm is very important, and it usually appears in the LAQ. And traveling salesman problem is the definition is important, and how we describe the problem and what are the number of steps required to actually get a solution for the problem.